Hey folks, welcome to another Luthier's Lair. This is an On the Bench episode, and in this episode, On the Bench, is my 2019 Gazzbass Active-P that I built for myself in 2019. Yes, and it has a number of changes compared to a normal P-bass, Fender P-bass. So let's have a quick look at it. I'll run down the specs of it and then we'll get it on the bench for a good old setup and a clean. Okay, so let's go and take a look. So here it is. Yes, this is my the first custom bass I built for myself, the first custom P bass I built for myself. This was built in 2019. It's the Gazzbass Active-P, and it's the deluxe version of it. And it's a bit grubby. I really have played the hell out of it. Yeah, I'll give you a quick rundown of specs, materials that we used. Okay, let's start off with the body. The body is a veneered basswood body. I used basswood for this, or basswood as some people call it, to make it light. I wanted a light bass because I was having back issues at the time. I always have back issues, but I was having a lot of back issues at the time, so I wanted a nice light bass, and this weighs in at overall about 7 pounds, so it's pretty light. And I also dug out a little bit more wood in the cavity than you would usually do with a P bass. So here it's like a big square out of here with just bits of wood there for support. So that's the body. The neck is a maple neck, and it is a 22 fretboard. Usually in a P bass it's 20. I wanted 22 on this one because I like 22 frets. And also LED dot inlays in the neck. Now, originally I had a plastic nut on this, but yesterday I was looking at it, and you know, this bass was built a while ago with stuff I had on hand, so I just had a plastic nut on hand. I think it's a Tusk nut on hand, so I used that. But yesterday I replaced it with a nice brass nut. I really like brass nuts, so that's what I did yesterday, hence the files sitting here. Got the slab of brass, cut out the slots and everything, just filed it down by hand. No machining necessary for that. It's quite a quick job, maybe about an hour it took. The electronics are EMG active P bass pickups there, and you'll see the battery cavity in the back there. It's right here. That's where the battery goes. Excellent sound, and of course your regular just volume and tone controls, and the output jack, and a switch there for the LEDs. When I had built this bass, I had put up a couple of videos on it, and I don't like publicly announcing famous people's names, but a rather famous bass player thought it was the best sounding P bass he had ever heard, and I was very, very humbled by that opinion. Now there is a little bit of tiny bit of damage to the finish here because I was playing with hardwood shims underneath the heel of the neck to get different resonance sounds from it. I stuck with this piece of walnut in here I have as a sandwich in between the neck and the body. Now that did lift this up, and that led me to install this, which is a Hipshot kick-ass high-mass bridge I love these bridges, and they've never let me down. They're superb pieces of engineering. Really love them. Yes. Now, on this I have regular strap buttons. I'm probably going to replace them with locking strap buttons so that the strap doesn't fall off when I'm playing. That's happened to me a couple of times. When you get too exuberant, you know, it's fun. Oh, by the way, yeah, the fingerboard is rosewood. This is a rosewood fingerboard. So yeah, that's the rundown. And this is a 3-ply, just plain P-bass pickguard. I wanted to go for simplicity in this. I don't need anything glaring on this bass. It's just nice and simple. It is the deluxe version with the piece of hardwood in there, lifting the neck up slightly so that I can use a kick-ass bridge. I originally designed it with just the regular P-bass bridge, but I wanted the kick-ass bridge. This was too low for that, so I had to lift it up slightly, and I chose walnut in there, and I get a really good resonance with that. That walnut sandwich in there. Really, really quite something. I was quite amazed. So let's see if it makes a noise first. Put this in here. Yeah, it sounds like a P-bass, doesn't it? And it's in tune. So what we're going to do is we'll do a quick setup on it, and maybe play a couple of things on it. See how it sounds. There you go. Let's go. Setup time. And first off, we always start with neck relief. So, procedure. This is a replica basically of a P-bass. So the suggested neck relief for a P-bass is as follows. Get capo and clamp down just behind the first fret, like so. We're going to lift, we're going to take this 12 thou feeler gauge, and we're going to lift this up, and I'm going to press down on the 17th fret here and slide this under the 7th fret. Now if it just drops through, that's not too bad actually, and it's got a bit of a backbone in it. So yeah, this is going to need a slight adjustment, not much. It's the treble side here. Yeah, that could be doing with getting straightened a little bit. So what we'll do is take the capo off. This is a 4mm hex adjustable truss rod, and I made it so that the truss was at the headstock on this model because I wanted the nice clean line at the bottom there. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and tighten this truss rod to straighten up the neck a little bit. I'll probably have to slacken off the strings here. So we'll slacken off the A and the D. That's usually all I need. Get these out of the way. I'm going to get the wrench in there, and we're going to tighten the neck a little bit, maybe a quarter turn there. And we'll tune that back up again. Just make sure it's close to tune. And we'll do the same thing again. Capo, first fret, feeler gauge, lift it up. Oops. 17th fret, and go 7, and that's looking really good. Yeah. Actually, I went the wrong way. Yeah, I did. I went the wrong way. I should have slackened the truss rod. I'm sorry about that. Sometimes on a Sunday morning you can become a dope. So let's slacken this off again. These strings, and let's tidy this up. Take these out of the way, and we're going to slacken this off this time. So, quarter turn, and then another quarter turn for good luck. There we go. And let's see if we hit the truss rod jackpot this time. Okay, that's it. Oh yeah, superb. Treble side. Yeah. Okay, we have a nice neck relief on that. That'll do. Next will be string height. Yes, indeed. Okay, once again working to Fender specifications. You can see them online at Fender's website. I'm using my Luthier's rule here, and I want a string height at the 17th fret of 5/64 of an inch. That's a little too high, too low, sorry. Also a little too low. And that's because I adjusted the truss rod. That's too low. That's too low. So everything needs to come up by about a 64th of an inch. So that's about half a turn maybe on this. Adjusting the saddles with the Allen key here. Have a look. It's perfect. No fret buzz. Good. The A string again, it's about half a turn each side, keeping everything level and even. You don't want the saddles like that, keep it all even. It's got to follow the radius of curvature of the neck, and on this neck is a 12-inch radius of curvature. That's bang on. Again, half a turn for the D, I'm thinking. See, that's too high. Let me back off that a little bit by about a quarter of a turn, I think, on that. Okay, quarter of a turn. Bang on. And the G, I think, just needs a quarter turn to bring it into spec there. Okay. And that's about 5/64, just a little bit more up. Yeah. Okay. And we're good. String height is set. Next, let's do pickup height. Okay, now intonation. The spooky, mysterious thing. Okay, let's plug her in. Oh, by the way, that's the plastic nut I replaced. Crapola. Yeah. Switch on the crap bass amp. And let's tune her up. I'll use the tuner for this, even though I have almost pitch perfect, but yeah, the tuner I have is out of shot here, so you can't see it. No, that's flat. That's it now. Okay, with intonation, how do you do? with intonation, how do you do it? Well, usually I'll plug the open string, make sure it's in tune, then I'll press down on the 12th fret an octave higher, and then I'll press the harmonic. Okay, it's sharp. Okay, so open is in tune, and I press down on the 12th fret, it's sharp. What does that mean? That means the string is too short between the two pivot points, which is the nut and the saddle. If it's sharp, I need to lengthen the string. So, how do you do that? Well, let's get our handy dandy screwdriver here. And in the bridge, I'm going to pull the saddle back a little bit, which means turning this clockwise. And bring the saddle back a little bit. Let's make sure that's in tune still. Yeah, amazing. Still a little too sharp. Again, and that's there. And that's bang on. Okay, so you do that with all the other strings. The D, actually almost perfect, just very slightly sharp, so I'm just going to do just one turn on this actually, bring that back, it's perfect. So that's how you do the intonation. You just, if something is flat, obviously the saddle would have to go forward to shorten the string to make it sharper. So whoa, that's pretty sharp without even playing the harmonic on that. So let's go in here and we can pull that back quite a bit. And that's perfect. Yep, and then E, almost there. Just needs a tiny little adjustment. Again, it's sharp, so all these are sharp. I didn't manage to get you a flat string there, but it should be that. And we're good. Yep. That's intonation. Okay, next we'll do a bit of pickup height, shall we? Yes, indeed. Okay, for pickup height I like to use my 4mm Allen wrench here. And what I'll do is I'll slide it under the E and press down on the last fret. And there's a gap there. So this pickup needs to be raised. So we shall raise it. Just get it right. Just make sure it's even here. And hear that scratching against the string. That's about right. Okay. Try the treble side now. That's very close. It just needs to come up a little bit. Well, half a turn, and half a turn again this side. Okay. And once again. Yeah, that's good. I want just a little bit of play underneath that 4mm, and these are active pickups as well, so they can be down a little further, I find, and I think we're good to go. There is one more thing though. that I have to do, and I'll show you, and that is relief from the nut at the first fret. So let's go and do that. Okay, now we're going to do the nut relief at the first fret. This was a new nut I made and put in here. It needs to be polished up still, but I didn't want to do all that good stuff until I tested this out. Now, according to Fender specs, the distance between the top of the first fret and the bottom of the string should be between 22 to 24 thousandths of an inch at the nut. I have a 21 thousandths of an inch feeler gauge here, so if this slips in underneath, we're good. And it does. As you can see, it's just getting held in place. So I can figure that that is about bang on. So I did make as I was making the fret, obviously I checked this. I didn't just go and stick in a crapola nut and not make sure. But I'm going to add like a 4/1000 feeler gauge to this, and that's just, in fact it's touching the string, you can hear. And this side, yeah, so I wouldn't touch that, that's perfect. Now if I'd found out that that just fell through, I'd have to go in there and file down the nut slots a bit to bring it into spec, but it is in spec, and that's how you set up the P bass. So let's go and see what it sounds like. Brilliant. So that's it for this edition of the Luthier's Lair on the bench with the Gazzbass Active-P Custom that I built for myself. Yeah, just to remember that although the figures used in this setup were kind of precise figures, they're just guidelines, you know. Some people prefer a higher action, some people prefer a lower action, some people prefer a backbowed neck slightly, some people prefer pickups to be closer to the strings or further away from the strings. These are just guidelines, okay? When you follow these simple rules to set up your bass, go with it and then tweak it to your liking. That's all it is. It's just guidelines. It's just guidelines. Okay? Okay, so just remains for me to say, stay safe, be good. See you next time on the Luthier's Lair. Cheers, folks. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe if you haven't done so. Give me a thumbs up. Always helps out. Thanks. See you later. Bye-bye.